Hey everyone, hope you're happy, healthy, safe, following all the rules and regulations in your region. And thanks very much for coming back and joining with me and spending some time with me on my journey to PA. If you're new to the channel, what I'm basically doing is kind of video logging my progress from my Canadian pals and UK pals in Barebow. And I'm trying to get to a point where I feel comfortable enough that I can enter the Classic, the Lancaster Archery Classic in Pennsylvania, and Lancaster, Pennsylvania. So it's, I don't need to, as everyone knows that's been following us, I don't need to be the best there. I just don't want to embarrass myself. And so I'm trying to learn as fast, as quickly as I possibly can, how to shoot a barebow. So today's topic, and it's one I've been thinking about for a while, and it's one that's been done a bunch of times on the internet, is target panic. That is, okay, so in my club where we used to shoot Olympic recurve, we don't mention target panic. You just don't. It's a taboo word because I guess it gets people thinking, it gets in people's heads and minds, and then they get target panic.
Oh, I let it, just tell it.
So I want to talk not only about target panic though today, I want to talk about also performance anxiety. Yeah, chuckling aside, performance anxiety is something that is serious and real, and it's something that impacts and affects almost everybody, quite frankly, unless you have like nerves of steel. And there's not many people who do, or that's a trained behavior, really. So anyway, let's talk about those two things. So first of all, we'll talk about target panic. Then I want to talk about performance anxiety. Target panic. What is target panic? So target panic is different for every person that I know has either said, I've experienced target panic, or they lie to me and they say they've never experienced target panic. I'm kidding. For those people who have never experienced target panic, congratulations. You're fooling yourself. Or you just don't know what target panic is. Because once I explain it to you, maybe you'll go back and go, oh my gosh, I did have target panic at one point. And so let's just talk about what target panic is. So again, for me, it's different for me, and that's why you're watching. You kind of are probably here because you want to see, what's Mick think target panic is, and what's he going to do to try and overcome that? So let me talk about myself for a minute. So target panic for me is something that is referred to as lock low. And that this is happening with barebow. I'm going to tell you with barebow, and if you're not a barebow shooter, let me just give you a little background on barebow. So with barebow, you draw back to an anchor, then you look down the shaft of the arrow, maybe, but you're always looking at the tip of the arrow. So the tip of the arrow is in focus and the target is out of focus behind the tip of the arrow. And you place the tip of the arrow in a certain location. Usually it's if the target is here, the gold's here, and then that looks stupid. Okay, if the target is here and the tip of your arrow would be like right here, and that would be the gold, right? And then as you release, if you have a good release, solid release, you're aiming here, but your arrow goes here. So there's a little bit of a gap. And it's very similar in rifle shooting as well. You put the blade front sight just underneath where you're trying to hit, so you can see your target the whole time. Some people put it right on the gold. I'm not one of those guys. I don't do that. But then what you do is you string walk down the string so that the end of the arrow comes up into your eye plane, and that'll move the tip up and down in your sight picture. All right, now that I butchered that, I hope you kind of understand. Just Google it, how to aim in barebow. It's real simple. You look at the tip of the arrow, you put it in a certain spot, you release, and if your bow is tuned the way you want it to be tuned and your string walking is correct, then it should go in the middle, in the 10 ring every single time. Easy, right? So my form of target panic is called lock low. So instead of getting to my point, and where my point on is my tip of my arrow is I'm looking down the arrow, the tip of the arrow is actually at the gold, right underneath the gold. So what I do, what my target panic looks like, it's drawing back, looking at my arrow, looking at the tip, and then I can't quite get to just underneath the gold, and I release too soon, and then I end up, my targets, if you look at my targets, if they look like this, a target looks like this, all my shots are here, just under the gold. And that's a form of target panic. I can't get up into the gold. I can't hold steady on gold. And that's what I want to do. I want to get to a point where I can do that. So anyway, I've explained what my target panic is. There's a bunch of different other target panics. For example, if you were to come to me and you're a new archer, or even if you've been shooting a bow for a long time, and you say to me, Mick, my form isn't really great, and that's why I'm not scoring so good, then you have target panic. It's not your form. Because you've been told and you've been taught, hey, this is how you should pull back. You should use back tension, but you don't get there. So for example, you're pulling back and you go, just before you get to your anchor, you release. That's not a form issue. That's a target panic issue. But we can disguise it as a form issue, and then people can say, well, I don't have target panic. I just have form issues. You have to be very, very careful. You just got to be honest with yourself. I'm being honest with you guys because I want you to learn from my mistakes, and that's what this is all about. I have target panic. I have terrible, terrible, terrible target panic. Archery is very simple. You get to an anchor point, steady bow arm. You look down at the tip of your arrow. You place it exactly where you want it every single time, and you use back tension to release. And if you do that, you would have 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, almost all the time. And the errors would be, bow issues or arrow tuning issues. Then that is something that people at highest level of archery, that's what they contend with. People at my level, I don't contend. This bow shoots better than I do. My arrows are straighter than my eyeball. I'm dealing with target panic, and sometimes I call it, form issues. And that may be true in certain cases. And so I don't want you to think that I'm saying that that's not the case ever. It is. You may have form issues. But once you get through those form issues and you get to a certain point in your career, in your archery exploration, then those form issues, you know what you're supposed to be doing, so you should be there. And if you don't get to that point, it's a bit of target panic, and that's okay. Just be honest with yourself, and you will push through that. There are tons of exercises online, like draw, hold. So pull it back, hold your anchor, put your tip where you want it, and don't shoot, let down. And then that may work for you or may not. But what I do know for 100% true is if you're not honest with yourself that you have target panic, then you never will cure that target panic. It's just not going to happen. Me telling you that I have target panic and me putting a video out on YouTube is cathartic, right? So hopefully I'll look at this after I'm done. I'll edit it and I'll post it online. You'll give me lots of comments back saying, hey, Mick, this is how I cure target panic. And I'll work through a lot of those things. And that'll help me to resolve this issue. So I'm not scoring really, really well right now. I'm sort of, I got to an all-time high. I scored 251 out of 300. That's amazing. That's exactly where I want to be. That's where I want to be when I go to Lancaster in 2021. I've got to keep that and maintain that 251 score, but I can't do it. Every round after that was in the 230s. So that leads me to my next point: performance anxiety. It is crippling in some cases for people, and in my case, not so much. But let me just explain to you what performance anxiety is. Say your boss at work tells you, hey, Mick, you have to go up and give a speech to 80 people, and you have to get up on stage and do that. And so prepare your speech, get ready to go. And you've prepared a ton. You've never done this before, but you've prepared a ton. But before you get on that stage, that anxiety takes over. You sweat, you get nervous, your hands are shaking, you're weak. It's just a multitude of symptoms that you get. It's almost like being sick. And in some ways, it really is like being sick. So, that's what performance anxiety is. And if you've never experienced it, then then put yourself out there more. Like some people just don't get it though, to be honest with you. But those people are few and far between. But I think I'm pretty sure everyone that I'm talking to right now knows exactly what performance anxiety is. It's whether they had to give a speech or do a play or, even do like a eulogy or be best man at a wedding. It's no different in archery. So I belong to the Barebow Project, and they do online tournaments. And so what they do is they have you film 6 ends of 3 arrows, and you got to do it live. And so people could tune in, they might tune in, you might get them on there, but what that really helps you to do is overcome that performance anxiety. I've heard many, many, many times about how backyard archers are way better than competition archers. So performance anxiety is real. And do I experience it? Yeah, on these the Barebow Project. I'll put a link down here to the Barebow Project. They make you do these live videos, like I said. They're really good. They're really good for putting the pressure on you so that you shoot under pressure. And that's really what it's about. Walking through the woods and having a leisurely shoot by yourself. Man, I'm the best archer in the world. I'm the best 3D archer in the world. There's no one can beat me. Put me in a group with like 6 guys. I'm just middle of the pack probably. And that's all to do with the anxiety that you feel. So those are the 2 things. I didn't want this to be a really long video because there are great videos out there, but I wanted you to kind of understand what I was going through and what I was experiencing as I'm going through this. And I'm sure if you're a barebow archer, you may be going through the same thing. So I wanted to share that with you. I wanted you to be aware that you're not alone, that, I'm experiencing it. And, I've been shooting archery for a lot of years now. So if I can feel it, then you can feel it too, and it's okay. And then once we acknowledge that it's okay to have those feelings, then you start to be in a place where you can build your archery skills so that you don't feel that or you suppress that. Or, at top level archery, those guys are cool as cucumbers. They might be feeling anxiety, but it's not to the level that you are. They just are able to suppress it, and that's good for them. Most top athletes are like that. They don't feel the pressure. They know the pressure's on, but they don't feel it. And so, how do we train ourselves? How am I going about training myself to be a more professional archer? Well, here's what I'm doing, and then I think we'll finish with this. But basically, I am following all the steps that my coach has put in front of me. And I'm making sure that I get my mechanics right. So once I have my form mechanics down so that I know I'm always going to do this exactly the same way all the time, and then I'm going to stop. I'm not going to correct them. I'm not going to fix any more form issues. I'm going to say, you know what, this is good enough. This is good enough for me right now. And yes, maybe later on I'll change my form to be even better. But right now, this level of form is good enough. So I don't have that thought in my head, did I draw the bow back correctly? Am I releasing correctly? Is it going to the right anchor? I'm going to stop what I'm doing in terms of correcting my form, unless there were some major issues, which there really is not. And so I'm going to be confident in my equipment. I'm going to feel that confident. I'm going to do a lot of repetitive drills so that my form is not, I don't think about it too much. I just draw, anchor, aim, expand, release. And then that's all I've got to think about. So you want to make things, I want to simplify things. I want it to be simple, just as I explained. And so that's one way of reducing target panic. Then the other one is I want to clear my mind each shot. The shot before does not matter. The shot after does not matter. I'm only shooting one shot at a time. The other thing is too, I am forcing myself to count in my head to hold my draw longer. So I will get to anchor. I will start to count 1,000. Well, I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, release. That's not going to get me to the highest level of scoring when you have to time your shots like that. It's not going to work. But for now, it gives me a rhythm that I can get into. And I think having a rhythm also helps with target panic. All right, performance anxiety. How do you get over performance anxiety? Lots of drugs, I guess. I don't alcohol. Uh, I don't. I honestly don't know. Okay, well, I know one thing. You can compete. The more you are competing, the less nervous you are about competing. You know, people will say, well, you know, I've been competing for years and I still get that anxiety. Yeah, you do, but not to the level of people who have never competed before and then they got to go compete. You know, there's that performance anxiety. I'm also, as many of you know, I teach martial arts. And so when I first started teaching martial arts, I was like, oh my gosh, I got to get up in front of like 30, 40 people who expect me to be an expert on the topic and train them and show them how to do things. That's scary. Oh my gosh. And then I was getting invited to seminars and they're like, okay, well, Mick, you just got back from Japan. You got to show us what you learned while you were over in Japan. We'd love to see that. Okay. And then there's like 100 people there and you have to show these people and it's very nerve wracking, but I'll tell you right now, no anxiety now when I get up in front of my class. None whatsoever. And if you're a school teacher, I'm sure you feel the exact same way. When you first started teaching, you're probably a little bit anxious. But now you just get up and you teach your 4th graders. This is it. You get up and teach your 12th graders math, and you're like, yeah, no problem. You don't think about that anxiety. So, okay, the video's gone on really, really long. I appreciate you sticking around to the very end. If you're new to the channel, please like and subscribe. Hit the bell so that you're notified when I upload a new video. This series is really important to me. I love it. I love that you're taking this journey with me. I love anyone that's commenting on my videos. It's just, the community is awesome, man. I can't say enough about it. People are so friendly. Archers are the best people in the world. They have to be. And barebow archers are awesome. Traditional archers are awesome. Compound guys, not so much. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I love all you guys that are out there doing archery, and I really hope that everyone is safe and happy and healthy. And until the next time we talk, until the next time I have to do another vlog on something that I'm learning, be safe and happy and healthy. Like I said, all right, take care. We'll talk to you later. Have an awesome day.